Happiness is hard to define. I mean, not really, the dictionary can do it, and it's this.
Happiness, noun, the state of being happy.
Well, thanks for nothing, Oxford Dictionary. But what I mean by it being hard to define is that it probably looks very different from person to person, and that is absolutely fine. Hello everyone, this is Wandering Tati. One of the things that I would like to discuss in this video is that there is a bit of an imposition about what we should want out of life.
You grow up, you study, you get a good job, get married, have children, grow old and die. And if all of those are the things you truly want, more power to you. I'm not here to tell anyone that their path in life is wrong. Well, maybe a serial killer or something like that. Let's just say that if it does not harm anyone else, I would say do your own thing. Which is precisely my point here. People are sometimes so obsessed with you having to want certain things. And you might feel bad because you just don't, but you still would like to fulfill people's expectations of you.
This is a very human characteristic, I would say, and something I've struggled with my whole life.
But I think it's important to be honest with ourselves and admit that we may not want certain things and perhaps want a very different set of other things.
We just have to take the time to seriously consider our lives and how we want to live them. This is something that might not be so clear, and perhaps it's a lifelong process.
Socrates affirmed that an unexamined life is not worth living. In essence, what it means is that we should think for ourselves and constantly reflect on what it is that makes our lives valuable. In A Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl declares, "We needed to stop asking about the meaning of life and instead think of ourselves as those who were being questioned by life, daily and hourly. Our answer must consist not in talk and meditation, but in right action and right conduct. Life ultimately means taking the responsibility to find the right answers to its problems and to fulfill the tasks which it constantly sets for each individual."
On the other hand, in fact, associating happiness with obtaining a particular thing or with a particular event doesn't do us any favors.
It causes more anxiety, I think, as we are always living in and for the future. But listen, we don't know if that future will ever come. Not to be crude, I mean, yes, we may get hit by a truck. That's always a possibility. But also, we may live quite a long life, but our future might be fundamentally different from what we could have ever imagined. Who knows what might be the events that determine how things turn out to be?
I'm gonna say something super cliche now, and it is this.
We should try our best to enjoy the present moment. And what I mean by this is to really enjoy that game night with friends and really be there. If you recognize that your mind starts to wander and you start to think about that difficult email you had to send on Monday, or about how you need to graduate soon and get better grades or find a better job, or if maybe it is time for you to have children, or if the person you are dating is the one for you, etc., 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 then you will not be where you are, not completely. And let me tell you, if you were to ask me, I would say that happiness lies more with you and your friends playing board games on a Sunday afternoon than with any potential new job you might find soon. Mostly because all jobs suck.
It's not just what they did with their time. It's not just that they spent too much time working or compulsively checking email. It's that they cared about the wrong things. They regret what they cared about. Their attention was bound up in petty concerns, year after year, when life was normal. Don't you know that there's going to come a day when you'll be sick or someone close to you will die, and you'll look back on the kinds of things that captured your attention? However much you feel you may need to plan for the future, to anticipate it, to mitigate risks, the reality of your life is now.
There isn't a magical, everlasting state to unlock. There is no happiness achieved sign appearing next to your avatar.
Happiness consists of brief moments, I think.
It is a book you can't put down, it's going shopping with your mom or watching a movie with your dad, going for a walk with your significant other, it is sending memes back and forth with your friends, enjoying day trips with your family, and so on. It is moments, just brief ephemeral moments. It will not last, not as we expect. It won't be the case that once you get married, you'll be happily ever after. And the same goes for a degree, a job, an object you may want to buy and have been saving for.
The happily ever after does not exist with regards to anything.
Once you obtain any of those, there is always the next item on the list. And let me tell you that the list never ends. Which I'm not saying it's a bad thing in and of itself.
But what I will say is that we need to learn how to truly stay in the present moment.
Whenever we are in a good one, at least.
Because it will be gone sooner than later, and once it's gone, that's it. We may try to recreate it, but we won't ever be able to go back.
I'd like you to take a moment to think about all the things in this life that you will experience for the last time. Of course, there will come a day when you will die, and then everything will have been done for the last time. But long before you die, you will cease to have certain experiences. Experiences that you surely take for granted now. We do everything a finite number of times, and yet we tend to take even beautiful moments for granted. And the rest of the time, we're just trying to get through stuff. You're just trying to get to the end of whatever experience you're having. What you can know, however, is that each time you do something, pleasant or unpleasant, that is one last time you will do it. And there will come a time when you will have done something the final time, and you will rarely know when that is. When is the last time you swam in the ocean or went camping? When is the last time you took a walk just to take a walk? As you go about your day today, consider everything you're doing is like this. Everything represents a finite opportunity to savor your life.
So that is all for my thoughts on the search and impermanence of happiness. I really hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please remember to like, share and subscribe to support the channel. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Until next time!